Hi, I'm Dennis Gonzalez with theScore eSports here, day 2 of the Summit 4, and joining me again is PPD from Evil Geniuses, right after the victory against Team Liquid. How are you feeling?
We feel great. I think it's guaranteed top 3 at the Summits, which is cool. We've had some mixed results in the past, so it's nice to have 2 very difficult wins over both Digital Chaos and Team Liquid.
Mm-hmm. No longer the lower bracket boys.
Not yet. We still, we've lost a lot of winter bracket finals, so we'll see what happens. Not tomorrow, but the next day.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that kind of, I guess, changed for you guys is now you're Radiant boys. RTZ mentioned this in the earlier interview. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we really like Radiant. We think it gives us a lot of options and have a lot more fluid in our drafts. So just being able to do different things, whether we want an aggressive tri lane, dueling mid, dueling safe lane. We could even run a jungler if we want. A lot of those things work really well in Radiant for us. Dire has some advantages, but for our team personally right now, we're a bigger fan of Radiant.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that in every single game of this series, the same opener for Phase 1.
Yeah, it's what happens when you have 2 bull-headed drafters going up against each other. It's we're both confident in what we're picking, and for good reason. Most of the games were very, very close and very competitive. They were confident in their opener, and I was confident in mine as well. We ended up losing the first game with the same opener, but after we adjusted the bans, I really liked how our drafts went.
Mm-hmm. Game 1 in particular was lost with against Ursa Omni.
Yeah, that was a really good strategy. We kind of thought maybe they would pick Ursa, but we didn't exactly expect the Omni Knight last pick, and didn't really have much to deal with it. That being said, I think we probably still could have won the game, but a couple misplays, and we just got ran over.
Mm-hmm. The Omni was picked up in Game 2 as well, and I've overheard Slacks telling everyone that he was the one that told Team Liquid to pick the Omni.
Maybe he did, but they've played it before while they were still in Europe, but he hadn't gotten to him yet. He's also like a huge Omni fanboy, so he just takes credit for everything.
Did you happen to see his little outfit that he was...
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, it's pretty awful. Game 3 was obviously the deciding game. And again, same opener. What was the rest of the draft like for you?
In Game 3?
Yes.
Hold on, I gotta remember. Shadow Fiend,
Dazzle, Gyro, Earthshaker.
I play Dazzle every game. Earthshaker was the same, and then we had last pick for Fear. We did
Undying,
right. Undying was a pick that we weren't too sure of because they had Ancient Apparition. It's like one of the better heroes against Undying. We already had Dazzle. We had a lot of heal. We had Gyro and Shadow Fiend, who both like to get some lifesteal eventually. So A works pretty well against those heroes. And as we saw in the team fights, we tried to focus down the AA, and if we were able to do that, the fights went really well for us.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the most back and forth games of the series, and in particular, you guys were really strong in the early game, but then you got team wiped twice.
Yeah, I think the game was going really, really well for us, and then I think we made some really bad misplays and made the game a little more interesting for everyone to watch. Unfortunately for us, it was a bit scary. I would have been really disappointed if we lost that game because of how well we drafted and how well we played during the early game. But at the end of the day, that's just Dota, and those kind of things happen.
Mm-hmm. What was the shift in strategy that kind of won that game for you? Or was there a shift?
I think once we were able to secure the Roshans, that was really big for us. We had to worry about the AA ult a bit, but if they used the AA ult too early, we were able to heal up and still fight at the Rosh pit. And making sure that we were the ones getting the Aegises from Rosh instead of the TA made a big difference in our team fights.
You're going to be facing Vici Gaming tomorrow, I believe.
Is it tomorrow? I thought we had the day off. I'm not sure.
Oh.
That's what my manager told me. You might be right. I don't know anything. I just play the game.
Okay, fair enough. Do you have any expectations for that series?
I'm glad Vici Gaming has showed up. I was casting their game versus OG. It's nice to see another Chinese team doing well after they kind of fell flat at the Frankfurt Major. That being said, Vici Gaming is an opponent that we have played a lot over the past 2 years. They're considered almost like our Chinese rival. They've been around there. Ice, FY, Fenrir, Super. Those 4 guys have been on that team for a while, and we've had kind of similar roster as well. So I think they're scared of us. We beat them a lot, and we've had really good results against them. So maybe they'll be a little intimidated, but they looked really good versus OG, and we looked a little bit shaky today versus both DC and Liquid.
You were able to cast the games with Vici Gaming. How do you feel about FY being back at the drafter role?
I think it's where he belongs. I think when they had Hao on the team, there was maybe a little bit of like dissension amongst the team, and Hao really wanted to play his way, and FY was maybe a little too. I don't know. I don't really know the inner dynamics of their team, but either way, he was willing to give up his position as captain for the best of the team. But I think that as like the kind of the strategist and like the leader that he's been for like the past 2 years, I think that's where he belongs.
I think his drafts have kind of. His drafts at this term are kind of the most outside of the box that I've seen, and it seems there seems to be something in the water at the 7-4. Do you agree with that?
What do you mean?
As far as like the craziness of the drafts, I don't know.
Sure. Well, the drafting is pretty unique right now. A lot of people, you can do a lot of different things. Like we saw Omni. We did like a Lone Druid Abaddon strat that worked. There's a lot of different options you have, which is kind of cool, and it speaks a lot for the patch that we have at the moment. But Vici is definitely a creative team, and I think that they're kind of finding their own play style finally, instead of what they've been doing in the past, is trying to keep up or catch up to some of the Western teams who have been leading the way.
One last question. What flavor ice cream are you going to get?
If we do end up going to get ice cream, which I hope we do, I want to get a Blizzard from Dairy Queen, and I want Butterfinger with like vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff. Delicious. I recommend it.
All right. Congratulations and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.